Hello, I'm Pastor Kalju, Priilaid from Five Ways Ministry, branch of Word of Faith Christian Center. And we're reading of what was happening at the time of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And we find later on Jacob, he had now, when the others had passed on, he was the head of the clan. And he had 12 sons. And they were many sons, and they were all difficult. And he had a son called Joseph. And Joseph was very unwise. He spoke just what he wanted without thinking that his brothers would not appreciate what he said, because he was a kid. And eventually they captured him out in the desert, and they sold him off to slavery, and off he went to Egypt. And he was there for a while, and a big famine arose. But in the meantime, God had promised Abraham that his seed will be blessed. And so Joseph was now in Egypt, and he had risen through all types of troubles to become the number 2 man for the Pharaoh. And a famine was coming up, and Joseph then handled the growing of crops, and they had immense crops. And when the famine came, a 7-year famine, people came from all over the known world to come buy food from Egypt that Joseph, God's favored one, had organized there. And then along came Jacob, and they didn't know, they thought Joseph was dead, but they came along to buy as well. And it so came about that they found Joseph was there. God had provided for Jacob, for his son to go in advance through all types of trials to prepare the way so that Jacob could come, and his family would not die off, but they were blessed. And in due season they came back to the promised land, and where God had promised them to be. Things might look a bit chaotic, and there's troubles coming, famines coming, but somewhere in your personal life, God has organized for there to be a blessing sown. And there's a Joseph that is preparing the way for you. Don't look at people, look at God. God will organize. And there'll come a knock on your door, or there'll come an SMS or an email or something like that. And suddenly you realize, God had been waiting for me. So, as Jacob and them, they didn't see the hand of God until the last minute. But Joseph did, and the whole clan, they did, and they settled in Egypt, and they were very blessed. God had a plan for his promised people. God's got a plan for you. Do not wipe it away because there's a famine coming. But say, in spite of, like early on, stayed and they reaped 100-fold. Maybe he'll send you, and there's good waiting there. Keep trusting him. You see, he'll lead you in good paths as well. Have a good day. In Jesus' name. Bye-bye.